address that most of the audience is here for me. And they may or may not have heard all of this before, so I'm going to need people I don't know to really, listen up. So one thing I do want to let you guys know is, as of late, I have been choosing to leave my apartment when there's an emergency situation going on in the neighborhood. So I poke my head out, I'm curious, there's sirens, what's going on. And, I guess I'm just looking for like a little ta-da in my life, or to get murdered. I also do this when I'm inside, so I don't know if this has ever happened to you. At 1 a.m. you hear the pool gate slam, and you pop out of bed, and you go over to the window, and you open the blinds, and you see a figure milling about. And you stare about 2 seconds too long, and that figure looks back at you, and he says, "Hey, I know you're in there." And so I opened the blinds, I took my top off, and I gave him a shot. I didn't do that. Before I shit my pants, though, I thought about inviting him up because I'm just that single. And taking myself on dates just isn't doing it for me anymore. So I was on my, independent woman shit, and bought myself a cooking class at Sur La Table that was very expensive. And, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking maybe this could be like a meet cute, right? So maybe I'll, somebody else will be there who is a single, emotionally available, age-appropriate male. So I get to Sur La Table, I'm walking up and I go to my table, and I am paired with a family of 3. Yeah, so it's a college-age daughter and her 2 parents. Her parents. Parents implies 2, I don't know. Anyway, there was 3 of them and me. And I was just really grateful that what we were cooking that night was lobster ravioli. So the emotional eating was going to be so good. So as I mentioned, I'm single, and as a single gal in her 30s, when it's time to get a cat, I rescued a 3-legged pit bull. And it's not really one of those who rescued who situations. I absolutely rescued that hobbling bitch. Her name is Story. She's a Hurricane Harvey rescue. I'm a good person. And I loved her name, so I didn't want to change it. What I would change, however, is everything else about her while she's awake, and some things while she's asleep, like how she uses my pillow, which is probably how I got pink eye. Yeah. I also put a bell on the door for her to let me know when she has to go out, and it worked one time awesome at 3 a.m., which was like a big win for not having to clean up diarrhea in the middle of the night. But now she rings the bell like she's Dowager Countess of Grantham, and I am Mr. Carson. And so for you non-Downton Abbey fans, she rings the bell and I cater to her every whim. And the thing is, she doesn't really ever want to go out, which is fine. I like being in my apartment. It has everything that I need, except for sufficient running water, and but the rain comes in the window, so it's in a great location, and the rent isn't going up astronomically. The cracks in the walls are getting bigger. At least once a month, somebody pops out of a dumpster, and every time my upstairs neighbor takes a bubble bath, I'm waiting for her to fall through the ceiling. But it's home, The kicker is that Story is 100% pit bull, which means that we can't live anywhere else. She is a restricted breed. And I often wonder, if she was a golden retriever or a yellow lab, would we be living in the lap of luxury? But she's probably not going to leave before the lease is up. And I think we're just going to have to stay and run the risk of my neighbor falling through the ceiling and falling in love with the next man who pops out of the dumpster.